Hello, this is Rajiv Nalawadi, and welcome to Life's Magical Journeys, the YouTube channel. Today, we'll be talking about Umberto Eco. He's an Italian author. I think you may hear some birds chirping around here. I sit in this pool house of mine in El Dorado Hills, California. So there are a lot of birds. Being springtime, I think there is a lot of activity. So not getting distracted, let's get back. Umberto Eco was an Italian author. He was born in Alessandria, Piedmont, Italy. He grew up during the 1940s, which is primed for World War II, right? And that had a lot of influence on his intellectual pursuits as well. His academic journey began at the University of Turin, where he studied medieval philosophy and literature and earned a doctorate with a thesis on Thomas Aquinas. So, Thomas Aquinas was a philosopher in the 13th century of Italy, and he was known for his inquiries that transcended somewhere in between antiquity and modernity. So, we have all heard about Plato, Socrates, and all that. So, this was sort of the inquiry times, and Thomas Aquinas was inquiring somewhere in the range of between antiquity and modernity. So that's what Umberto Eco's thesis was, and this foundation of medieval studies and semiotics. Semiotics is an interesting study of science, the different science and symbols we use in communication, and it sort of are a recurring theme in in a lot of the novels that Umberto Eco wrote. There is medieval times and there is semiotics, which is the symbolism, and it exists in a lot of his literary works. Uh, so in the 1960s, Eco's academic career flourished, and he was like a lecturer and later a professor at a lot of the prestigious universities in Italy and even abroad. And he also wrote the Open Work, which was published in 1962. It explored the idea of artwork and having different interpretations. How, if I observe an artwork or somebody else observes an artwork, there are multiple interpretations. My observation, my perception, and somebody else's perception, and there is meaning that is created, and we all create meaning based on what we perceive, and what we perceive is based on our own experiences. So it was a very seminal work by Umberto Eco, and an amazing read as well. He often engaged in debates around the role of media in contemporary society, which is true even today. The role of media is huge because we all get influenced by media, and about how they play together along with culture and politics. So he was awarded numerous honorary degrees and awards for his contributions to literature and the humanities. So Umberto Eco is no longer with us. He passed away on February 19, 2016 in Milan, Italy. So his resting place is in Italy. Uh, so one of the things that I would like to show here is Umberto Eco's library. He's not standing in a public library. This was his personal library, which had more than 30,000 books in total, and they ranged across the different genres. And he loved reading, but even as part of his interview, he admitted that he was unable to read all the 30,000 books that he had gathered. So he was a very good collector and also a very avid reader, I would say. He read a lot. So, but still, there is so much of knowledge out there that we cannot end up consuming all the knowledge that is out there. And that is a testament with Umberto Eco there with his huge, huge personal library. And here is Umberto Eco again uh, with a lot of books. stacked around him, and again, books from his library, one in color, one in black and white. That's the photo here. So, the first novel we'll be talking about is The Name of the Rose. The Name of the Rose is an amazing, amazing novel, and it was also made into a beautiful movie starring Sean Connery and Murray Abraham. So it's sort of a very medieval setting for the novel. It's a masterful blend actually with the mystery semiotics which we talked about the different symbolisms and the signs that existed as part of the communication, and all of this tied to historical fiction. So it was published in 1980, and the novel set in medieval times, and this was year 1327. And the setting is of a wealthy Italian monastery where Umberto sets off on this whole discussion of philosophy, theology, and medieval politics at play. The story is narrated by Adzo of Melk, uh, a novice monk who is recounting his experience as a young man accompanying the Franciscan friar William of Baskerville. So, William is a sharp and enlightened detective of his time and is being summoned to this monastery to engage in a theological debate. And there is other things happening around the Inquisition times as well, right? So, it's a theological debate, I would say. Also, he has he's sort of being invited to even investigate. So that will become evident as the novel progresses. So, however, with the arrival of both William and Edzo, they quickly are drawn into this darker narrative where there are a lot of mysterious murders that are happening, which sort of threaten the stability of the monastery itself. And monastery is supposed to be a very safe place of learning and knowledge and imparting knowledge to other people. But this is very much threatening the stability of the monastery itself. And they delve into the investigation and using the logic and the semiotic analysis around navigating these different murders, they uncover the monastery's secret is hidden within its very vast library. So there is a library within the monastery, and there is a control of knowledge. So if in these medieval times, knowledge was the power. So people, only few people were allowed to garner this knowledge and have access to this library. So this is an interplay which Eco does as well. It becomes the heart of the mystery itself, as the solution to the murders lies in deciphering sort of the symbolism and what's contained within the texts that exist within the library. So this kind of goes around weaving a nice tapestry of all the philosophical debates around the Middle Ages, uh, around the nature of truth and the interpretation of the truth, what it is, and how there is a conflict between reason and faith. The novel sort of is inviting the reader to a medieval world, reflecting kind of that universal quest of knowledge that was existing in the past. It exists even today. Today, it's probably much easier, we would say, but uh, all the contemporary times also have their own challenges. For example, we have a lot of information, but we don't know which one is truthful. There is multiple truths out there, right? So there are different challenges. So it's inviting this setup in the historical era. It's kind of asking people to go over the different themes of censorship which exist even today, and the role of intellectual freedom, and the complex pathways that exist to the interpretation. That's the interpretation from that differs from one person to the other, and the existence of multiple truths. So there is no single truth, there is multiple truths, and there should be an access, equal access to all of them when it comes to the freedom itself. And that's what this novel is trying to kind of reflect out there. And it's a wonderful read. It's a compelling exploration of the dark corridors of human history, uh, and it carries a lot of intrigue. There is profound reflections on the nature of truth, and also uh, the need for knowledge, the access to that knowledge, and the power that comes from having that knowledge, the right knowledge, in fact. Uh, so wonderful read. I would encourage everybody to go and read Who Echoes the Name of the Rose, or even watch the movie, whichever suits you the best. The second one is Foucault's Pendulum. Foucault's Pendulum is revolving around three curious editors. So they go by the name Belbo, Diotar Levy, and the narrator Tassoban. They work at a Milan publishing house, and they come across various manuscripts that are being sent to them. And there's a publishing house they get to see, and a lot of manuscripts, and they have to read them. And in reading all these manuscripts that are arriving at their desk, they are not. They are sort of disenchanted that nothing is interesting. So they start on this intellectual game that involves creating like a fictitious conspiracy, a grand narrative that brings together different historical facts, myths, and the existence of actual secret societies with this universal plan. Um, and a plot, and this plot itself is called the plan, and it's an universal plan as far as what they have devised. And using like a computer program called Abulafia, they begin to piece together this conspiracy, drawing in like some of the themes from the Knights Templar, the Rosicrucians, the Kabbalah, and the countless other sources. They try to merge all of them together to bring a convincing narrative. And as they go deeper and deeper into launching the execution of this plan, their creation starts to take a life of its own, because it's out there, and there is other secret societies that come to know about it, and now they are brought into the limelight, where the secret societies think that this plan is true, and the editors of this particular publishing house are hiding a lot of secrets, and it's sort of hidden knowledge that they need to get access to, so they can have all the power ultimately, like from what this plan is meant to be, and at least understand from acquiring a knowledge point of view, the secret society wants to know more about the plan. And this is where they get into trouble. And the title of the novel itself, the Foucault's Pendulum, the pendulum, it demonstrates the Earth's rotation. It's also serving as a metaphor for the oscillation between the poles of logic and madness, and science and superstition. So it's the ultimate quest for the truth itself. And that's what the pendulum is. It can swing to the extreme of either end. And we need to figure out what really is an extreme versus like a real knowledge that exists out there. And the pendulum itself is located in the Conservatory for the Arts in Paris, and it's a significant focal point in the narrative that is symbolizing the balance between enlightenment and obscurity. The novel is also sort of a satire for conspiracy thinking. It requires a complex exploration on the nature of knowledge itself. It challenges the reader to navigate through all these historical references. We have all heard about the esoteric folklore and the lores that exist out there, and the philosophical musings that we all imagine, and that's the book's central mystery. Essentially, it critiques the human propensity also to kind of find meaningful patterns in random data. There is a lot of random data out there, but we as humans like to put everything into order and come to some conclusion. And this is the phenomena that Eco terms as epiphania, and interrogates the consequences of such beliefs, that we need to derive some conclusion, and the conclusions can end up with either extreme, right? Like it could be on this end or that end of the pendulum. And it's a very nice way to kind of do this narrative in the form of Foucault's pendulum, trying to ask the intriguing questions in that regard. So that's it for today's video. Do subscribe to Life's Magical Journeys, and also subscribe on the other socials of Facebook, Insta, and LinkedIn. And I'll see you soon on another video, and we'll get together. Uh, Bye for now. Thank you.